Thank you very much, and warm welcome to this session 5 of the Swim England Hertfordshire County Championships 2019. We've got 2 events which we're going to be going through today, and they're going to be the 100-metre breaststroke for the boys and the girls' 100-metre freestyle. We've got 18 heats for the girls, and we've got 15 heats for the boys. While we're waiting, reminder, medals at the medal table. You can see on the far side of the pool alongside where the results are. Do check the results, and if you've won medals in the age group, do go over and collect your medals from the ladies at the medal table, who will be delighted to pass them on to you. Could ask if coaches are here and we've got swimmers who haven't collected medals and they wish to collect them on their behalf to take them on. If the swimmers are not going to be at the next sessions, that's fine. If they go over and sign for them and take them and pass them on to the next training session, that would be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome onto poolside, led by the President, Janet Warrington, your officials for session 5. Ladies and gentlemen, your officials for session 5. And your announcer and commentator for this session, Mr. Peter Bays.
Okay, whilst we get the officials round to their place, we're going to be bringing out the swimmers for the first event. And we're going to do a test start. So, test start, please. Okay, seems to be functioning properly. So, welcome everyone to this fifth session of the 2019 Hertfordshire Swimming and Hertfordshire County Championships. Hope you're going to have a good afternoon swimming, and don't forget we got finals at the end of the main heat session. Okay, so we've got our swimmers now on the bull side. So we're now ready to get underway with events 215, the boys 10 years and over, 100 metre breaststroke. We saw in 15 heats. This is heat 1, swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. So 4 lengths of breaststroke for the boys, and got a mixture of 10 and 11-year-olds, 2 10-year-olds and the rest are 11. Lane 1 is Alexander Fawcett, who's 10 from Watford. Lane 2, Elliot Marshall, 11 from Watford. Lane 3, Carl Guervin, who is 11 from Stevenage. Lane 4, Leo Sue Saunders, who's 11 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Max Walters, 10 from Hemel. 2 more 11-year-olds. Marvin Galvardi in lane 6 is 11 from Watford, and Bishop Stortford's Oliver Gisborne is in lane 7. So 10-year-olds in lanes 1 and 5, and the rest are all 11. Number 4 lengths of the pool for the breaststrokers. And coming up to turn first is going to be Max Walters. 47.69 at the turn, and 49 behind him for Carl Guervin. Third place at the turn is Leo Sue Saunders in lane 4. But already you can see now, moving up quite well is Alexander Fawcett in lane 1. Still in the lead at the moment in lane 5 is Max Walters. Max turns at 74 seconds into the final length. Max from Hemel Hempstead, 10-year-old in 1:44, looking very good indeed at the moment. 1:44.71 is entry time. Let's see how much inside that he can get. Good swim behind him at the moment. Alexander Fawcett in 1 is just ahead of Elliot Marshall and finishing fast. Wildman Galvani in lane 6, but it's going to be first to touch 1:39.28. Max Walters, excellent swim. 1:41.11 second is Elliot Marshall, and 1:41.61 third touch Carl Guervin. This is heat 2 of the 100 metres breaststroke. The line-up for the second heat is Frederick Stairs, who's 12 from Watford in lane 1. Lane 2, Sonny Madison, who is 10 years old from Hatfield. He's the only 10-year-old in this heat. In lane 3 is Joshua Jeffrey, 12 from Hatfield. Lane 4, Alexander Ball, who's 12 from Potters Bar. 5, Thomas Craig, 12 from Harpenden. And an 11-year-old, Alban Gill, in lane 6 is from Harpenden. Lane 7, Oscar Hollingsworth, 12 from St Albans. Lane 8, Samuel Barnett, who is 12 from Potters Bar. So all 12 apart from lane 6, it's 11, and lane 2, who's a 10-year-old. Leading the way at the moment, Frederick Stairs. Fred is in lane 1. Ended at 1:44, but right behind him at the moment is Thomas Craig in 5, and they're going to turn absolutely together, really about 1:48, just under. And then behind those is Samuel Barnett, turn at 49, and then 49 also for Oscar Hollingsworth. 50 seconds are halfway for Alexander and Sonny, and 51 and 52 for the last two. Up to the final turn, and still nothing to choose between lanes 1 and 5, with Thomas Craig now just edging into the lead in lane 5. Thomas from Harpenden entered at 1:42.47, having a very, very good final length, but a very fast final length from Samuel Barnett in lane 8 as well from Potters Bar. Sam Barnett's going through very fast indeed. He's by far the fastest finisher, but it's going to be Thomas Craig, entered at 1:42, who goes 1:38.12. Second to touch there, great last length there, 1:40.89 by Samuel Barnett, and third, lane 4, 1:41 for Alexander Ball. Can you clear the pool, please, Summers? Can you clear the pool? And this is heat 3 of the boys 100 meters breaststroke. And in heat 3 in lane 1 we've got Daniel Williams, who's 11 from Chesham. Lane 2 is Finn Hussain, who's 12 from Berlin. Lane 3, Jeffrey Gill, who's 12 from Watford. Lane 4, Samuel Jeffrey, who's 12 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Henry Chapman, 12 from Stevenage, and then another 12-year-old from Potters Bar in lane 6, Charlie Clark. And two 11-year-olds in 7 and 8. James Gibson is in 7 from Ann Webstead, and Oscar Chaplin in lane 8 is from Costa. So 11-year-olds in lanes 1, 7 and 8, and the rest are 12. First to turn there in lane 3 is Jeffrey Gill at 44.42, 46 behind him as Harry Chapman, and 47s for both Samuel Jeffrey and Charlie Clark. But still pushing on well now in lane 3 is Jeffrey Gill from Watford, entered at 1:40.75, and going after him at the moment is Charlie Clark from Potters Bar in lane 6. He's leading the chasing pack, but also going well with Daniel Williams in lane 1. Trying to get on terms too. But now it's Charlie Clark in lane... Sorry, Harry Chapman in lane 5 who's coming through. Harry Chapman in lane 5 going to the front. Fast finish from Daniel Williams in lane 1, and also from Samuel Jeffrey. It's going to be extremely close, and it is Samuel Jeffrey with a big sprint in the last 10 metres, comes through first, 1:37.12. 400ths behind him was Harry Chapman, who was in the lead right to the very end, goes 1:37.16 and 1:37.42, fast finishing Daniel Williams. The notice of disqualification, event 215, heat 2, lane 3. Event 215, heat 2, lane 3, disqualified for a technical infraction. And this is heat 4 of the 100 metres breaststroke. And in lane 1 we've got Kai Adams, who is 13 years old from Potters Bar. Lane 2, Tom Dennis, who's 11 years old from Harpenden. Lane 3, Kobe Cornwall, 12 from Potters Bar. 2 more 12-year-olds in 4 and 5. In 4 is Alexander Hollis from Watford, and 5, Toby Martin from Harpenden. Lane 6 is Jack Renoff, who's 13 years old from Hoddesdon. Then we've got a 10-year-old who is the fastest 10-year-old entered in the event. Hatfield's William Lockwood in lane 7, entered at 1:38.57. Lane 8 is Hugo Rabeschek Smith, who's 11 years old from Hatfield. 10-year-old in 7, 11-year-olds in 2 and 8, and then a 13-year-old in 1, and the rest are all 12. 45.14. Kai Adams has turned first there, ahead of 45.32. Kobe Cornwell and 45.55. It's all pretty much together. Alexander Hollis in lane 4. And those 3 are all pretty much in a row. Coming up to the final turn, and it's going to be close between Kai and Alexander, and they turn absolutely together, but also going well now. In lane 7 is William Lockwood, and he's coming up into the mix too. And William Lockwood it is from Hatfield, 10-year-old, who's finishing very fast indeed. William coming up towards the front of the pack. It's going to be between William and Alexander as they come through the touch, and as they touch, it is William Lockwood who gets it, 134.69, great final length, 134.77 for Alexander Hollis, and third there, 135.65 was Kai Adams. So just going to retrieve some debris in the pool. One of our swimmers is very helpfully going to go in. I can see it floating in the middle of lane 7. Just going in to rescue it. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate that. And this is heat 5 of the 100 metres breaststroke. So line up heat 5 is Archie Ran in lane 1, who's 12 from Ware. Lane 2 is Oliver Solomon, who's 13 years old from Trent. Lane 3 is Theo Lim, who's 13 from Watford. And 4, Thomas Lydiard, who is 13 from Ware. And we've got a 112-year-old here, William Fawcett in lane 5 from Watford. So add to the one in lane 1. And then the rest of 13, David Badcock in 6 from Bishop Stortford. And then James Smith in 7 from Potters Bar, and his teammate James Renton in lane 8. So 12-year-olds in lanes 1 and 5, and the rest are all 13. Coming up to the turn halfway, James Renton, Potters Bar, in lane 8. He's going to turn first at 43.81. 44.58 behind him for David Badcock, 45.11 James Smith, and 45.59 for Theo Lim. Another 45 in lane 4, Thomas Lydiard at halfway. But going up towards the final turn, and it is still lane 8 in the lead. So James, who's going to turn first. Still got about half a metre to a metre. Going extremely well. Entry time of 1:36.52. He's having a cracking swim, but now accelerating behind him. David Badcock, Bishop Stortford coming through strongly, and David is finishing very fast. On the far side, we've got Theo Lim and Thomas Lydiard, but it's going to be James Renton taking this. Time 1:31.59. The entry time 1:36.52, 1:32.58 second, Thomas Badcock, 1:33.87 third was Thomas Lydiard. Heat 6 of the men's 100 meters breaststroke. Coming up to turn, and it's Raphael who turns first, just before Godfrey, both around the 42 seconds. 42 also there for Harry Rowlands, and 43.2 for Jack Patrick in lane 1. Now starting to push on very hard. In lane 4 is Ryan Wall from Royston into the 131. He's bringing in a big third length as well. And he turns first, coming into the final length. And it's Ryan Wall in the middle of the pool with the green hat on from Royston. 12-year-old entered at 1:31 with a good finish coming from Jack Patrick in lane 1, and also lane 5 Harry Rowlands from Harpenden. But it's going to be Ryan who takes this in a time of 1:28.33, 1:30.03. Second was Harry Rowlands, and then third Jack Patrick from Potters Bar in lane 1, a time of 1:30.72. Heat 7 of the 100 meters breaststroke. Alex Twyford is in lane 1, 13 from Bushy. Then we have a row of 14-year-olds. Lane 2 is Charlie Stanbury from Potters Bar. Lane 3 is Felix Harrow from Harpenden. Lane 4, Dylan Cannell from Hemel. Lane 5, William Presland from Bushy. Then we have an 11-year-old, and this looks like the fastest 11-year-old entered in the event, which is George Prince from Hatfield, entered at 1:29.9. Edward Ormsby in lane 7 is 12 from Royston. Another 12-year-old Ethan Howard is in lane 8 from Potters Bar. Dylan Cannell Hemel in the lead at the moment, and at 1:28, fastest entrant. Halfway is at 40.32, 41.61, 41.97 for Alex Twyford and Edward Ormsby behind him, and then 42.38 for Charlie Stanbury. But it's only Alex Twyford who's going with him at the moment. Alex Twyford in lane 1 having a very good third length, going after Dylan. Dylan's got about half a metre on Alex, and then behind those Edward Ormsby now up into third place in lane 7. And it's a good battle across the pool. We've got in the middle here, Dylan Cannell, excellent sprint down the fast length. Entered at 1:28.29. Alex is going after him. I don't think Alex is going to catch him. And Dylan takes it at time 1:25.56. 1:26 flat for Alex Twyford in second place. 1:28.44. Third to touch is Edward Ormsby from Royston. He entered at 1:30, so all very, very good times. Heat 8 of the 100 meters breaststroke. Alexander Oliami is 14 from Watford in lane 1. Lane 2 is Joel Peterson, who's 12 from Hatfield. 3, Alexander Claverbour, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 2 more 13-year-olds alongside in the middle of the pool. In lane 4 is William Buckley from Watford, and lane 5 is Jake Moore from Potters Bar. Then 3 14-year-olds in 6, 7 and 8. In 6, Leonardo Malagoli, who's from Hertford. Lane 7, Elliot Barley, who's from Potters Bar. Elliot Ball, I beg your pardon. And lane 8 is Reece Dixon from Verulam. Pretty close at the moment. Joel Peterson from Hatfield has got a slight lead, but 3 or 4 swimmers all together at the halfway, turning at 40 and then 41 seconds, all very close. But at the moment it's Joel Peterson from Hatfield still in the lead. He's got an entry time of 1:27.6. coming up to his final turn. It's very close. Look how close the swimmers are across the pool. Got about 6 swimmers all together. Joel turns at about 62, going into the final length, 62, 63. But if you look across the pool, lanes 4, 5 and 6 and 7 just behind them, and lane 1 coming through very strongly, Alexander Oliami from Watford. And Alexander is finishing really fast behind Joel Peterson. Joel's going to hang on, I think. He does, at a time of 125.69. He entered at 127. Good time. 125.92 second was Alexander Oliami. Very good swim by him. 127.07 third to touch, William Buckley. This is heat 9 of the 100-metre breaststroke. Daniel Mapley in lane 1 is 13 from St Albans. Lane 2, Daniel Lord, 14 from Watford. 3, Andrew Tembrough is 13 from Outford. 4 is Charlie Goddard, who's 15 from Harpenden. 5, Nathaniel Hopkins, 15 from Verulam. 6 is Kieran Burkitt, 14 from St Albans. 7, Oliver Blight, who is 13 from Hatfield. And lane 8, Josh Heasem, who's 14 from Potters Bar. Notice of disqualification, event 215, heat 7, lane 5, event 215, heat 7, lane 5, disqualified for a technical infraction. First turn, lane 8, 39.16 is Josh Heasem. Potters Bar, but right behind, look how many are on 39 there. 4, 7, 6, 3, 2, 5 and 1 in that order, but it's across the pool, they're all in it at the moment. Coming up to the final turn, it's going to be very close as they turn. And absolutely together, just fractionally, Oliver Bright 7 and Josh Heasem in 8. But these two now coming under pressure in lane 4 coming through, Charlie Goddard. And also lane 3, Andrew Tembrough. And it's going to be very close indeed. And it does look now between Andrew Tembrough and Charlie Goddard, but coming through fast as well in lane 7, it does Oliver Blight. But it is 123.15 that goes to Andrew Tembrough from Hatfield. 123.50 right behind him, second Charlie Goddard, and third 124.35 was Nathaniel Hopkins. This is heat 10 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Henry Newbury-Kemp is 14-year-old Hemel swimmer in lane 1. 2 more 14-year-olds alongside him. In 2 is Enzo Lim from Watford and 3 Eldrick Manella from Stevenage. Lane 4 is Noah Cormo, who's 15 from Potters Bar. Lane 5 is Cub Madison, 13 years old from Hatfield. He's the fastest 13-year-old entered in the event at 121. Lane 6 is Joe Reynolds, 14 from Hertford. 7 is Will Shepherdson, who's 15 from Harpenden. And lane 8 is Daniel Harrison, 14 from Ware. So lots of 14-year-olds, but first to turn. Joe in lane 6, in fact, he's absolutely together with Noah, it says on the AOE, lane 4. And they are pretty much stroke for stroke. Between them, they've got Cub Madison, the 13-year-old, who's also going well. Coming up to the final turn. And 3 or 4 swimmers all turning together. We've got lanes 4, 5, 6 and 8 pretty much together. Noah in 4, Cub in 5, Joe in 6 and Daniel in lane 8. But now in the middle of the pool it's going through Noah Cornwell from Potters Bar into the 120. He's just ahead of Cup Madison, and Noah takes it in a time of 119.73, under 120. Cup Madison, a great swim behind 11-year-old, 120.05. Third to touch, 121.29 was Joe Reynolds. Heat 11 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Keaton Ratch is a 15-year-old from Watford in lane 1. Lane 2 is Arn Sani, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 3 is Patrick Kovar, who is 15 from Watford. Then two 14-year-olds in the middle. Lane 4 is Luke Flynn from Watford. Lane 5 is Oliver Carpenter from St Albans. Lane 6, Daniel Hollis, who's 13 years old from St Albans. And then two 14-year-olds in 7 and 8. Sam Pyfinch from Tring in lane 7, and Charlie Taverner in lane 8 from Watford. Very, very close. Oliver Carpenter turns first at 37.3 in lane 5, and then lane 2 right up with him, 37.41. And lots of 37s there, halfway. And this really could go one of any of the lanes here. They're all right up there. Look how close they are together. Still nothing to choose between them. Keaton Ratch in lane 1 is going well. And now starting to lift his stroke a bit in lane 5. Oliver Carpenter from St Albans, trying to get there, but alongside him we've got Luke Flynn in lane 4, and also in lane 6, Daniel Hollis. And as they touch, it is 118.97. Luke Flynn who takes it from 119.28. Second place Oliver Carpenter, and Daniel Hollis third in 119.33, 500ths behind second. Heat 12 of the 100 metres breaststroke. And in lane 1 we have Arvin Rodriguez, who is 15 from Watford. Lane 2, Max Robertson, 15 from Hatfield. Lane 3 is George Williams, who's 15 from St Albans. The three 15-year-olds all together there. There's one more on the other side of the pool. Lane 4 is George Gisborne, who is the fastest 14-year-old entrant in the event. Bishop Stortford swimmer entered at 1:15.01. Lane 5, Harry Thorne, who is 18 years old from Berkhamsted. 6, Peter Sikoska, who's 14 from Hatfield. 7 is Harry Butler, 16 from Harmon. Lane 8 is Adam Hazelwood, who's 15 from Bishop Stortford. 35.56, George Williams, Costa first to turn. 35.92, right behind him now is Harry Thorne from Berkhamsted. But George is having a good third leg here. Coming up to the turn. George turns at 56 seconds. Got an entry time of 1:15.42, but now starting to also pick up. In lane 6 is Harry Thorne, is Peter Sikoska, rather, from Hatfield, but also Max Robertson in lane 2 from Hatfield. Going to be close as they touch 1:15.91, the winning time. George Williams. Max Robertson from Hatfield getting second, 1:16.63, 1:17.34. Good last few strokes by James Gisborne from Bishop Stortford. He's the 14-year-old. Heat 13 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Lane 1 is Kieran McCarthy, who is 17 from St Albans. Lane 2, Alfie Francis, who's 16 from Potters Bar. 3, Yuto Watanabe, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 4, Lewis Schuyler, who's 16 from Watford. Lane 5 is Nicholas Bota, 17-year-old from Bishop Stortford. Lane 6 is Thomas Fruin, who's a 22-year-old senior swimmer from Tring. And then 7 is Neo Metz, who's 19 from Hertford. Lane 8, Sam Oakley, who is 16 from Potters Bar. 32.14, that's very quick from Lewis Shaler from Watford. He's a 68-second swimmer. It's a 33.72. Alfie Francis turned second, and 34.27 is Thomas Fruin from Tring, turning in third. But coming up to the final turn at 50 seconds. 50 seconds here for Lewis Shaler from Watford. 68-second swimmer, going to be close to that. And also going well in lane 6 now, Thomas Fruin from Tring. He's in at 1:11. See Lewis's time, 67.71, under 68, great swim. And 1:10.77, 70.72, second for Thomas Fruin, again under his entry time. 1:12.18, third place for Nicholas Bota. This is heat 14 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Alexander Horn, 16-year-old from Costa in lane 1. Lane 2 is Don McCarthy, who's 17 from Oddisdon. 3, Joseph Richardson, who is 18 from St Albans. Lane 4 is Bryn Cowser, who's 17 from Bishop Stortford. And then we've got the fastest 15-year-old entrant, Benjamin Green. Ben is in lane 5 from Watford. Lane 6 is Yannick Wilson, who's 17 from Costa. Lane 7, Thomas Toland, who's 18 from Costa. And Royston's Thomas Barnes, 17-year-old in lane 8. Ben Green turns first at 32.96, 33.14 behind him. Lane 4 for Bryn Cowser, 33.5, 33.78 for Joseph in 3, and then Thomas in 7. Up to the final turn. Let's see where they are at the turn. Very, very close indeed. 52 seconds. Ben in 5. And it's Bryn that goes to the front now. Bryn Cowser from Bishop Stortford entered at 67. Goes to the front with just 7 metres to go. Let's see what his time's going to be. Very close behind him. Bryn goes 69.47. 2 on 70 seconds, 70.28. Second to touch there was Benjamin Green. And 100th behind, 70.29, was Joseph Richardson of St Albans. This is the 15th and final heat of the men's 100 metres breaststroke. So Oscar Eagle in lane 1 is 16 from Potters Bar, and on lane 2 Matthew Honeyman, who's 19 from Potters Bar. 3 Marcus Kemp, who's 18 from Watford. Lane 4 is William Loverman, who's 19 from Costa. Lane 5 Callum Harold is 17 from Bishop Stortford, and then the fastest 16-year-old entered in the event, Matthias Morse, in lane 6 from Hemel. He's entered at 70.91. Lane 7 is Daniel English, 17 from Hitchin, and lane 8 is Josh Holland, who's 16 from Hertford. Callum Loverman Costa swimmer turns first at 32.9, 32.96 behind him halfway, Callum Harold in lane 5. Also going well over in lane 2, Matthew Honeyman from Potters Bar, who's right up with those two. Marcus Kemp just a little bit behind, but they're both turned there. So again, 51, 52 seconds, so they're just pretty much on the same turn as the previous heat. Into the last 10 metres and going to the front, pushing hard. William Loverman entered at 66.2. Let's see what time he can get. Goes 68.47, 69.8. Second place there for Callum Harold. And then 71.1 in third place for Marcus Kemp from Watford. Can you clear the pool, please, Summers? Can you make your way to the side of the pool, please? That completes the men's 100 metres breaststroke. Come to our second event in this session, the girls' 100 metres freestyle, which is going to be swum in 18 heats. This is heat 1 of the girls 100 metre freestyle. Swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. So you've got the 3 swimmers in the pool. We've got Louise Story in lane 3. She's 13 years old from Hoddesdon. She's an S9 swimmer. And so let's look at her entry time, 1:48.28. Keep an eye on that. She's an S9 swimmer competing against full able-bodied swimmers here. So she's doing great to be on the blocks there. Lane 4 is Jemima Cross, who is 11 from Hitchin. And lane 5 is Georgina Hamilton, who is 11 from St Albans. So Jemima just ahead of Georgina. Remember again, 4 lengths to the pool. Turning halfway, 37.95 and 38.55 for Jemima and Georgina. Louise coming up to her halfway turn. Splits at 48. Now bearing in mind she's got an entry time of 1:48. This is a cracking fast swim and she can keep this going. But in the race in front of her, in lane 4, Jemima comes to the front. Got an entry time of 1:22.86. On paper, 2 seconds faster than Georgina. Jemima, 11-year-old from Hitchin, into the last few strokes. Goes 1:19.62, under 1:20. Well done, 1:21.50 for Georgina Hamilton. Again, 3 seconds inside her entry time. Behind them, Louise Story. Remember, she's entered up with 1:48. So she's having a cracking swim into the last 5 metres. And going brilliantly. Hoddesdon's Louise Story touches in 1:44.45. And that's 4 seconds inside her entry time. Well done. This is heat 2 of the girls 100 metres freestyle. So no swimmers in lane 1. Lane 2 is Emily Clark, who is 10 years old from Potters Bar. She's the youngest in this heat. Lane 3 is Rihanna Manella, who's 11 from Stevenage. Then we've got one 12-year-old in lane 4, Verity Billingham, who is from Tring. Lane 5, Hannah Lovelock, who is 11 from Hitchin. 2 more 11-year-olds in 6, Eliza Andrews from Bishop's Stortford in 7, Poppy McGill, who is from Hatfield. So all 11 apart from a 12-year-old in 4 and a 10-year-old in lane 2. Right, it is who turns first at 35.98. Halfway, 36.97 for Rihanna Manella, and then the rest are all on 37. Into the last 6 metres now. This is a cracking swim in lane 4 by Verity Billingham. 12-year-old enters at 1:18, goes 1:15.71, 1:17.53 second to touch. It's Poppy McGill, and then 1:19.08, just getting in third is Rihanna Manella. Heat 3 of the 100 metres freestyle. And in heat 3, Ava Black is in lane 1. She's 12 from St Albans. Lane 2 is Eva Ives, who's 10 years old from Hatfield. Lane 3 is Isabella Pecci, who's 11 from Watford. Lane 4 is Ellen Millibond, who's 12 from Bishop's Stortford. Lane 5, Josephine Reed, who's 12 from St Albans. Lane 6, Angelica Lazarskate, who's 11 years old from Watford. Lane 7, Caitlin Waters, 12 from Hemel, and her teammate Mia Malson-Wallington is in lane 8 and she's 12. 35.16. Ellen in lane 4, ahead of 35.63. Isabel in 3. You can see these two just a little bit clear. The others in a line across the pool, all at 37. Ellen still clear of Isabella, and it is Ellen who turns into the final length of 55 seconds. And these two still clear. It's Ellen in 4, Isabella in 3. Both entered at 1:17, so we'll see how they go. Coming through strongly in 3rd now in lane 6 is Angelica Lazaskate, but it's going to be Isabella gets it 1:13.10. Taking it in 1st place. 2nd place 1:14.43 was Ellen Millibond, and 1:14.73 Angelica Lazaskate in lane 6 in 3rd. This is heat 4 of the 100 metres freestyle. And in heat 4 in lane 1 is Jasmine Pereira, who's 11 years old from Potters Bar. Lane 2, Amy Harper, who's 12 from Watford, and 3 is Chloe Hodgkinson, who's 12 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 4, Kirsty Nill, who's 12 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5 is 11-year-old Sophie Hollis, who's from St Albans. Lane 6 is Emily Gray, who is the fastest 10-year-old entrant in the event from Hatfield at 1:16.34. Lane 7 is Maya Shackle, who's 12 from Watford, and lane 8 is Alexander Yeebsley, who's 11 from Hatfield. Alexander's one of the ones right up there, turning first at 34.97. 35.36 and 35.68 for Kirsty in 4 and Jasmine in lane 1. Behind her at the turn, and also going well is Alexander Yeebsley, still there in lane 8, she's still right up there. And it is indeed Alexandra turning with Kirsty and Amy all together. Lanes 2, 4 and 8 in a row across the pool. Coming down to half a length to go. And just now going to the front. Kirsty Nill from Bishop Stortford at 1:15. Amy Harper in lane 2 behind her. And it is Kirsty Nill gets it 1:11.78. Just over Amy Harper 1:11.89. Very close indeed. 1:13.43. Third to touch was Alexandra in lane 8. Heat 5 of the 100 metres freestyle. Imogen Tang is in lane 1. She's 12 from Bishop Stortford. Three more 12-year-olds alongside. Lane 2 is Gabriela Gomez-Pavon from Potters Bar. 3 is Raisa Vickery, who's from St Albans, and lane 4 is Tia Patel, who's from Potters Bar. Lane 5 is the fastest 11-year-old entrant. She's a Watford swimmer, Tiger Lily Donald. She's entered at 1:13.72, so keep an eye on that. Lane 6 is Eva Glynn, who is 12 from Hatfield, and 2 more 12-year-olds in 7. Grace Lockwood from Hatfield, and lane 8 is Anya Dunwoody, who's 12 from Costa. 33.59. Tia Patel, 34.40 second Tiger Lily. She's the 11-year-old, so going very well. But you can see how much clearer Tia Patel is now in the lead, having a cracking swim. Also going well, Gabriella over in lane 2. And coming off the wall into the final length, it is Tia Patel. And Gabriella also their level now with lane 6, Eva Glynn. And coming through strongly, Tiger Lily Donald. But touching first in a time of well, it's not come up time. We'll get the backup time for the winner. Second there, 1:10.91 was Gabriella. And third was Tiger Lily Donald in time of 1:12. There we go, 69.94 the winning time for Tia Patel. Under 70 seconds, excellent swim. Heat 6 of the 100 metres freestyle. Stand down, please, swimmers. Can you clear the pool, please, swimmers? Can you clear the pool to the side, please? So underway on heat 6. Alice Longman in lane 1 is 12 from Bishop Stortford. Then row of 13-year-olds in lane 2 is Amy Charter from Bishop Stortford. 3 Keely White from Potters Bar. 4 is Olivia Riley from Hatfield. 5 is Neve O'Mara from Watford. Lane 6, Phoebe Gill is 12 years old from Hatfield, and she's got 2 12-year-olds in 7 and 8 alongside her. Camille Vanier in lane 7 from Hatfield, and Annabella Brown in lane 8 from Stevenage. Lane 2 is first to turn though, at 33.26, but it's coming up at 33.25 as Phoebe Gill just ahead on the AOE. Must have been the way it picked it up as they turned. And those two are still absolutely together. Amy Charter in lane 2, Bishop Stortford entered at 1:11. Phoebe Gill in lane 6 from Hatfield entered at 1:11 as well. But now coming up strongly in the middle of those, we've got Hatfield's Olivia Riley, who's coming through very powerfully alongside Phoebe Gill, and it's a blanket finish, and it is 1:10.29. It was Olivia Riley who got there, 1:10.37. Dead heat between lane 6 and 5, Phoebe Gill and Neve O'Mara for second place. Heat 7 of the girls 100 meters freestyle. Katie Gorman is 13 from Hertford in lane 1. Lane 2, Elizabeth Standen is 13 from Snorvens. 3, Chloe Costa is 12 from Hatfield. In lane 4, Grace Corley is 13 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 5, Lily Butt, another 13-year-old from Potters Bar. 6, Lauren Parkinson, who's 12 from Watford. Lane 7, 11-year-old Berkhamsted's Eva Lawson, who actually is the fastest one. I missed her earlier. She's fastest entrant at 1:10.86. And then 13-year-old Bellams, Oksana Wojciech Yardziok is in lane 8. 32.93, Elizabeth Standen just out of 33.27. Lane 7, Eva Lawson. So let you know the finals are up for the boys breaststroke. The finalists for the boys breaststroke are now on the wall. Finalists for the boys breaststroke are on the wall. It's now 27 minutes past. You have 10 minutes for withdrawals. 27 minutes past. You have 10 minutes for withdrawals. And in this one, Elizabeth Standen coming in. It's going to be very, very close. 68.71 takes it for Elizabeth Standen. 68.77. 600ths behind. Second place was Eva Lawson. Third, 68.89 is Lauren Parkinson in lane 6. So remind, this is heat number 8 of the 100 meters freestyle. So a reminder, the boys breaststroke finalists are now on the highlighted sheets, the yellow sheets on the wall over on the far side of the pool. Please check now. You have until 37 minutes past to withdraw. We need to know if you are going to withdraw or you're confirming that you will be swimming in the finals, please. So you have until 2:37 for that. In this one, we've got lane 1, we've got Anne-Marie Reid, who's 14 from Snorvens. Lane 2, Holly Morgan, 13 from Huddersfield. 3, Jessica Bright, 13 from Potters Bar. 4, Abigail Breers, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 5, Alice Wilson, 14 from Costa. 6, Olivia Kavanagh, who's 14 from Potters Bar. 7, another 13-year-old Lily Rogers, Hoddesdon. Lane 8 is Charlotta Gates, who's 14 from Harpenden. Very close, but at the moment just in the lead in lane 2. Holly Morgan and Jessica Bright with them. These two a little bit clear at the moment of Abigail Briers in lane 4. And it looks like it's Holly and Jessica. Holly just a little bit clear. Holly touches first, 67.01. Jessica second in 67.53 and 68.28. Third to touch is Abigail Briers. So final reminder, the boys breaststroke finalists are on the wall in the highlighted green sheets. You have until 2:37 to withdraw. 2:37 to withdraw, please. This is heat 9 of the 100 metres freestyle. Megan Morley is 13 years old in lane 1. She's from Watford. Lane 2 is Emily Cancross, 13 from Hitchin. Lane 3 is Megan Gray, I think is the fastest 12-year-old from Hatfield, and she is into the 1:08.39. Lane 4, Isabel Toon, 14 from Watford. Lane 5 is Jade Bentley, is 14 from Potters Bar. Two 13-year-olds in 6 and 7. In 6 is Florence Cowley from Harpenden. 7, Mayor Alexander from Hatfield. And 14-year-old Isabella Good in lane 8 is from Bishop Stortford. 31.6. And Megan Gray was first to turn. She's 12-year-old from Hatfield, having a blinding swim, going well also. Isabella Good in lane 8. And also in lane 5 is Jade Bentley. And in lane 4, Isabel Toon going well too. And Isabel Toon it is coming through now into second, with Jade Bentley right on her shoulder. Also going very well over in lane 8 as well. Good, but in the lead, no doubt. Megan Gray touches first. Enters 68, goes 66.90. Excellent swim, 67.41. Second to touch was Jade Bentley. And third, 67.42. 100th behind Isabella Good. This is heat 10 of the 100 metres freestyle. Emily Taylor-Sanders is 14 from Potters Bar in lane 1. Lane 2, Katie Lane is 13 from St Albans. Lane 3, Antonia Chubb, who is 14 from Hatfield. Lane 4, Lillian Oppio, who's 13 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Easy Smallbone, who's 14 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 6, Bella Parker, 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 7, Jasmine Brackenbury, who's 14 from Hitchin. And lane 8 is Kirsty Fuger, who is 13 from Hatfield. And very close, 32.11, it's Bella Parkus. Just in the lead, 32.28. Antonia Chubb at 32.45, which is Jasmine Brackenbury at halfway. Coming up towards the final turn. Extremely close, just about everyone's in this at the moment, but just coming out in the lead. In lane 4 is Lillian Oppio. Bishop Stortford enters 66. Right behind her, Antonia Chubb from Hatfield. These two going to battle it out right to the end, and Antonia's finishing very fast. And who gets it? It is Antonio, just gets there, 65.99 from Liliana. It's 66.09 in second, 66.63 in third place there. Just gone off the board. Heat 11 of the 100 metres freestyle. Kira Wharton in 1 is 15 from Tring. Lane 2 is Laura Hollow, who's 14 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 3, Grace Jordan, 15 from Outfield. And lane 4 is Isabella Chapman, who's 15 from Harpenden. 5, Isabella Hammond, who's 15 from Hitchin. 6, Sophie Ledger, 14 from Hatfield. Lane 7 is Bruna Ribello, who's 15 from Hatfield. And then Watford's Sophia Pecci in lane 8 is 14. Long way clear at halfway, Isabella Chapman entered 66, splits at 30. 30.14, 31.56 behind her for Grace Jordan, and 31.94 in third at the halfway is Laura Hull. Look how far clear though our leader is. Isabel Chapman turns at 47 seconds into the final length. Going to be a cracking time. Behind her at the moment is Grace Jordan from Hatfield in lane 3. Picking up well over on the far side, Kira Wharton in lane 1, Laura Hull in 2. But look at this time, 63.54 for Isabel Chapman from Harpenden, 65.93 67.51 in second was Grace Jordan, and 66.63 third was Strings Kira Wharton in lane 1. Hundred meters freestyle, heat 12. Dana Shepherdson in 1 is 14 from Pudders Bar. Lane 2 is Neve Kelly, who's 15 from Hatfield. Her teammate in 3 is Isabella Murta, who's 13. Lane 4, Catherine Ryan, 15 from Hoddesdon. Lane 6, Charlotte Williams, 13 years old from Cheshunt. Lane 6 is Molly Brundle, who's 15 from Royston. 7, Hannah Brook, who's 14 from St Albans. Lane 8, Maggie Fleet, 15 from Watford. Very, very close. Charlotte just ahead there, 30.73 from 30.99 to Catherine Ryan, and also for Isabel Murta in lane 3. They're pretty much together, those three. Isabel just starting to ease into the lead, I think, in lane 3. Yeah, she's fractionally ahead of Charlotte Williams and Catherine Ryan. And also now coming up in lane 6, Molly Brundle from Royston. Molly picking up very well in lane 6, having a great last length here. But over in lane 3, Isabel Merton Ratwood ended 65.55, goes 63.48, 64.47 in second place was Molly Brundle, 104.66 in third, Charlotte Williams from Cheshunt. Heat 13 of the 100 metres freestyle. Craig in 1 is 15 from Watford. Her teammate Gemma Nottage in 2 is 14. Lane 3 is Jessica Keogh, who's 15 from Hatfield, and her teammate in lane 4 is Anastasia Wilkinson, who's 14. Lane 5 is Amelia Dunwoody, who's 14 from St Albans. She's got 2 teammates alongside her. In 6 is Lucy Coyabo, who's 14, and 7 is Helen Stafford, who's 15. Lane 8, Abby Larkman, who is 15 from Hoddesdon. Under 30 seconds now, 29.65 for Jessica, after swimmer in lane 3. 30 seconds for Anastasia and Amelia in 4 and 5. But look how fast Jessica's going. Turns at 45 seconds. 45 seconds, so this could be close to a minute. Maybe just outside this, but she's going to be very, very fast. Entry time of 64.31. Let's see if you go to 62, 61.27, excellent swim, 64.10, second there was for Helen Stafford from St Albans, and 64.28, third to touch there was Anastasia Wilkinson. Heat 14 of the 100 metres freestyle. Peter Mason in lane 1 is 17 from Potters Bar. 2 16-year-olds. In lane 2 is Eleanor Mason from Bishop's Stortford, and 3 Lucy King from Hitchin. Lane 4, Harriet Clements, who's 15 from Watford. Lane 5, Daisy Sandon, 16 from Stevenage. Lane 7 is Kesson Fuge, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 7, Caitlin O'Toole, who's 15 from Royston. And finally, Emily Preston in lane 8 is 17 from Bushy. Bethan turns just in the lead at 30.22, 30.46 behind Caitlin in 7, and then 2 more on 30, Lucy in 3 and Harriet in 4 at halfway. Very close coming up to the final turn. And those 4 who turned at the beginning all turned together, coming into the final length. Now who's going to go to the front? And it looks like it's going to be Besson Fuge in lane 6. And over in lane 3, Lucy King. And it's these 2 with a fast finishing Caitlin. And who gets there? It is 1:02.91. It goes to Bethan Fuge, and with a second time of 1:02.94 to Lucy King, and 1:03.1 third to touch was very fast finish from Caitlin O'Toole from Royston. Heat 15 of the 100 metres freestyle. Heat 15, lane 1, Jessica Heasom, 16 from Potters Bar. Lane 2, Isabella Godfrey. Isabel is 15 from St Albans. Lane 3, Mia Boersma, who's 16 from Tring. 4 is Ashley Cooper, who's 15 from Hitchin. 5, Ella Murphy, 17 years old from Harpenden. Lane 6 is Claire Dorrell, 18 from St Albans. Then 2 Hatfield swimmers in 7-8. 7 is Gemma Hansen, who's 16, and lane 8 is Isabella Yevesley, who's 13. First to turn is Ella Murphy at 29.72, again under 30. 30 seconds for pretty much all of the others, about 31 seconds for Jessica Heasom. Coming up to this final turn, Ella Murphy it is in the lead though. And Ella has had a very good third length. Going after her, Claire Burrell. Claire Burrell in alongside her, finishing fast it is Isabel Yevesley in lane 8. But it is going to be Ella Murphy, 101.48 for Ella Murphy, taking that one. 102.76 second to touch there was Claire Burrell, and 103.08 third to touch was Isabella Yevesley. Heat 16 of the 100 metres freestyle. Lane 1 is Nellie Easton, is 17 from Bishopstorp, and 2 Francesca Pecci, 16 from Watford, 3 Neve James, 18 from Bishopstorp, and 4 Georgina Talon, who's 19 from Potters Bar. 5 Libby Dunford, 16 from Hoddesdon, and then all the rest are 16 as well. Lane 6 is Zoe McDonald from Hitchin, 7 Fleur Hines from Watford, 8 Matilda Turner from Hitchin. 28 seconds now, 28.78. Georgina Talon from Potters Bar, turning first. She's a 58-second swimmer. 29s for 6, 5 and 3 as well. That's Zoe in 6, Libby in 5 and Neve in 3. But turning now, 44 seconds. 44 seconds in the lead. Potters Bar's Georgina Talon ended at 58.99. Finishing fast behind lane 6, Zoe McDonald and Libby Dunford between them. But as she touches, 59.551, eased up a little bit there, I think, Georgina Talon from Potters Bar. And 60 seconds, 60.58 for Zoe McDonald, and Libby 60.7. $100 metres freestyle, heat 17. Penultimate heat, Freya Harwood in lane 1 is 15 from Hitchin. Lane 2 is Alice Fender, who's 18 from Mount Wenson. Lane 3, Billy Grant, who's 17 from Hatfield. 4, Jessica Woodward, who's 16 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Ellie Hollis, who's 15 from Costa. 6 is Shona McKenna, 17 from Hemel. But the fastest 14-year-old entrant is in lane 7, Valeria Giron, who's from Hatfield, entered 61.8. And then fastest 13-year-old in lane 8, Kia Phillips, entered from Bishopstorp at a 62.6. Lots under 29. You can see the lead there just being held at the moment by Jessica Woodward in lane 4 from Ellie Hollis in lane 5 and Shona in lane 6. Also going well lane 2 is Alice Fender, turning there at again 45 seconds, so about the same as previous heat, but now coming to the front. In lane 4, Jessica Woodward Hatfield entered at 57.61. Touches easily in 59.58, 61.07. The second touch is Ellie Hollis, and 61.08 is Shona McKenna in lane 6.